Who is the loved one?
Allah.
Who is Ar-Rahman?
Allah.
Who is Al-Mannan?
La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. Muhammad is the messenger, to Allah is our return. La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. Muhammad is the messenger, to Allah is our return. La ilaha illallah,
Muhammadur Rasulullah.
La ilaha illallah,
Muhammadur Rasulullah.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jalla jalaluhu wa amma nawalu in the Quran says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إنما المؤمنون إخوة فأصلحوا بين أخويكم واتقوا الله لعلكم ترحمون. صدق الله العظيم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unites a bond between all of us in the Quran, and He declares that you and I are brothers and sisters in deen. He says, فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ أَخَوَيْكُمْ, that settle your differences amongst each other. Know that you and I are different, but accept the differences and move on. He says, in order for you to do this, there is a component that we must adhere to, and that is wattaqullah, to be God conscious. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to be God fearing, to be God conscious, to remember Him. And then He tells us that I will give you a reward, and your reward is لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ, that Allah's mercy will descend upon you and I. Today I want to ask you and all the brothers and sisters that are here today, that what is the purpose of social media? Today when we put on YouTube and we watch these videos, Wallahi al-Azim, I ask you this question, that tell me by Allah, why do you watch these videos? Today the manipulation of these videos is causing mass chaos within our communities. Brothers and sisters are hating one another because we are dividing the ummah through sects. We attribute sects to ourselves. We say that we are Dawbandi. We say we are Salafi, Ahlul Hadith. They say we are Sufi. These not say we are something else. And all these divides, what benefit have these divides brought us today? I ask you this question. Wallahi, a man or a woman sits behind a screen, makes da'wah to you and I, calls the other a kafir, calls the other a non-Muslim, calls the other Ahlul Bid'ah. I ask you, what purpose did Allah create us with? That you call somebody Ahlul Jahannam, that these people are from the hellfire, these people are deviant. Over matters of jurisprudence, over matters of fiqh, we disagree with one another so much so that what? We call them kafir? Numerous videos on YouTube with all these people claiming all sorts of things. That this sect is bad, do not adhere to that sect. These imams are bad, do not listen to them. Calling one another to the platform for debates. I ask you, where is your Islam? Where is your Islam? What do you want? Do we want to have these fights? Do we want to walk up and down these streets and hate one another? Do we want to hate each other over silly matters? Not even matters of jurisprudence. I ask you, Wallahi al-Azim, are we not failing Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Tonight's conference is titled the United Muslims Convention, to bring you and I, the masses, together on this platform to show that wallahi you and I can unite. We can sit together and we do not have to call one another a non-Muslim, a deviant, a kafir. If there is one message that you leave with from here tonight, then know that every person under the roof here today and all those outside, the rest of the ummah, are your brothers, are my brothers, are your sisters, and are my sisters. We have always had difference in jurisprudence, but this did not divide us. Today the ummah is so weak, that we argue over jurisprudence, whether you hold your hands here or whether you hold them over here. Wallahi al-Azim, I ask you, what was the purpose of folding your hands in the first place? The purpose you folded your hands in the first place was because you were standing in front of Allah, because you were in salah, because you were communicating with your Lord. I ask you, does it really matter whether you fold it here or there? When you are communicating with Allah, nothing matters. Whatever the Prophet ﷺ prescribed, that is enough for us. Whether it was here or there, wallahi, Allah will not ask you and me tomorrow on the day of judgment that did you hold it on your chest or did you hold it below your navel? He will ask you and I, did you pray? Did you pray? Not how did you pray? Wallahi al-Azim, I ask you that when you leave this hall tonight, leave with that conviction, knowing that it is Allah that we serve. The ummah is in dire need, and I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He first and foremost give me the tawfiq and the ability to act upon what I have said, and then I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give all of us here and the rest of the ummah the ability and the tawfiq to act upon what has been said. وأقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. جزاك الله خيرا for listening. I move on to our next guest, who is already seated here. A very familiar face, I'm sure you all know him. Ustaz Abdurrahim Green. At a young age, Ustaz Abdurrahim Green was sent to Roman Catholic monastic boarding school in Gilling Castle, and then further on to Ampleforth College. It was there that he really started to question what life was all about and how much sense the tradition he was being brought up actually made. Ustaz Abdurrahim Green later converted to Islam and has been a dynamic speaker at many international conferences and many TV programs. Ustaz Abdurrahim Green is also part of the IERA project. Therefore, without wasting any more time, I call upon Ustaz Abdurrahim Green to come to the podium. Jazakallah.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله